Today, you are going to listen to a biography about Ray Charles. A biography is a story about a real person's life written by another person. Reading about other people's lives can be very interesting. Biographies can help us understand both the difficult times or challenges that people went through, as well as the opportunities or good times they had. Today you're going to listen to a biography about Ray Charles. Ray Charles was a famous musician who was blind. Blind means that he did not have the sense of sight, so he could not see. So I want you to listen carefully to this story about one of the most famous musicians of all time and listen to the difficulties or challenges that he faced, as well as the opportunities or good times that he had. Let's go over some vocabulary before we begin. Our first vocab word is blind. Blind means unable to see, not having the sense of sight. Disability. Say disability. Disability is a condition in which someone is not able to perform a task of daily life in the way that most people can. So some people have a disability. If they're in a wheelchair, they can't walk. Disease. Say disease. A disease is a serious sickness or illness. Opportunity. Say opportunity. Opportunity means a good chance to do something. And the last word is remarkable. Say remarkable. Remarkable means wonderful or amazing. So I want you to listen carefully to this story about Ray Charles, this biography. It's a real story. Ray Charles was a world-famous piano player, singer, and songwriter. People all over the world recognize Ray Charles's face and still love the wonderful songs he wrote. He was a remarkable musician. So remarkable means wonderful or amazing. He was a wonderful musician. But even more remarkable is the fact that he became a musician after he became totally blind. So blind means he did not have the sense of sight. He was unable to see. Ray Charles was born with normal eyesight and grew up playing and doing all the things other kids did. He liked exploring the countryside with his brother, pitching pebbles into streams, and picking juicy blackberries. But the one thing he loved more than anything else was music. He loved to sing in church on Sundays. He also liked going to a local restaurant where they had a jukebox, a big machine that plays music. Ray would listen to the jukebox for hours on end. But when Ray Charles was 6 years old, he became very sick with a terrible eye disease. A disease is a sickness or illness. His mother took him to a doctor who told her that the disease would cause Ray to lose his sight and become blind. By age 7, Ray Charles was totally blind. If a person is completely blind, he or she sees no colors, no shapes, no light, nothing. If you turn out the lights and shut your eyes, you can imagine what the world looked like to Ray. His mother wanted him to be successful in life despite his blindness, so she sent him to a special school for children who were blind. Ray Charles was determined to learn and succeed in school. The teachers showed him all kinds of ways he could learn to live independently without very much help from other people, even though he couldn't see. It might surprise you to know that blind people like Ray Charles can do most of the things that people with normal vision can do. How do blind people accomplish all of these things? They can learn to use their other senses especially well, particularly if they go to a school for blind students like Ray did. Blind people learn to read with their fingers rather than with their eyes, with a special form of writing called Braille. You can see Braille on this picture. It's those raised dots. In Braille, there are raised dots on a page that represent words. A person can read those words by feeling the dots with their fingers. Ray Charles's favorite part of school was music lessons, so he learned to use his other senses to become an amazing, remarkable musician. Ray once told someone that, "My eyes are my disability, but my ears are my opportunity." A disability is a challenge. An opportunity is a good chance to accomplish something. That means that even though he couldn't see, Mr. Charles felt very lucky that he was able to hear. Using only his senses of hearing and touch, Ray Charles learned to play the piano. There are 88 keys on a piano, each of which, when tapped, makes a different sound. For most people, it takes a long time to learn to play the piano very well. But Mr. Charles was able to learn to play the piano very quickly, as well as the saxophone and other instruments. Ray Charles's love of music was much stronger than his blindness. He once told someone, "My ears were sponges. They soaked it all up." By this, he meant that his ears were able to hear a new song just once, and he would be able to remember it and play it exactly the way he heard it that one time. Ray Charles's strong sense of hearing helped him develop an ability to hear which notes sounded good together. In school, he quickly learned to write his own songs. By the time he left school, he knew he wanted to be a musician. Over the years, Ray Charles became world famous. He made many records of his songs and gave concerts all over the world. He even met a few presidents of the United States. So here you see Mr. Charles, Ray Charles, with President Nixon. He almost always had a smile on his face, and as he played, he would stomp his feet to the beat of the music. He would sway back and forth as though the music was moving right up from the piano throughout his body. Nothing made Ray Charles happier than playing music. He once said, "Music to me is part of me. I look at music the same as I look at my blood and my breath. It's something I have to have." He was really a remarkable musician. Even though he was blind, he didn't let that stop him. He learned how to read, and then he learned music and how to make his own music. That's the end of the biography, friends. Go ahead and answer the questions.